Welcome back. Recon and all those guys have high respect for the Rangers, and you have those rivalries where people.
Yeah.
But if I feel that as I get older,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it maturity, but it's play
wiser, hopefully.
Right, you play well with others. So you joined the Rangers. Where were you stationed, and kind of what was your history when you're in with them?
So I joined the end of 2005. It was October. I did basic airborne RIP,
okay.
Which is the Ranger Indoctrination Program. Now it's called RASP. And after that, I went straight to 2nd Ranger Battalion up in Fort Lewis. And yeah, I spent my entire career there. I got out in 2012, and I did 4 deployments. 4 deployments on the line as an assaulter, and then 3 deployments over in the recce platoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of deployments.
Yeah.
It feels like each one is years. It could be a year deployment or 6 months, and it feels like a lifetime.
Yeah.
Each one. And so you did that, and then spent some. Is there a impactful experience that you had when you served it doesn't have to be combat. It could be anything that kind of shaped you or experience that you took a good learning lesson from the service.
Yeah, there was I mean, obviously there was a lot of them. I think a lot of veterans today, like you are the person you are today because of these experiences, whether good or bad, and it's just how you want to use them now. But man, I think obviously going through all that training, because everybody joins wanting to know, like, hey, can I make it? You know, there's always that question in the back of your mind of like, can I actually do this? And, you know, getting to go through all that stuff and being successful at it, definitely, I think, broadened my horizons a little bit. And then, man, I mean, there was some stuff, the Merrill mission specifically. So we were doing these. It's pretty much like these non-permissive environments, like in Afghanistan, where the battle space owner couldn't go in, and so they would have us go out there, and it was like 2 platoons of Rangers, and they would just fly us into the middle of this, you know, big no-go zone in the middle of the night, and we would just spend half the night, you know, doing hits on these houses, and the other platoon was just building this fighting position up on top of a hill. And we would just sit there as long as it took, and we would just, you know, let them all come out, and we'd just fight them as long as they wanted to fight. And then once it was over, we would leave, and the battle space owner could roll right in. And like, that was cool. I mean, that was amazing. But I found out that it's a part of the Ranger history test now.
Really?
To get through RASP, you have to take this history test, and we found out that the Merrill missions were a part of this history test, and I was like, oh, damn.
You know, Sons of Iwo Jima, pork chop, pillowcase, son, all that old antique stuff, sort of a
That's
history.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's that reputation from World War II,
and
Vietnam, and stuff. You know, Army and Marine Corps, where you building that tradition. It's cool to be a part of it.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Awesome. So you served in the military, had tons of experience, and then transitioned into civilian life. Can you tell me kind of what that looked like?
Yeah. I got out, and I had a plan to go do security contracting, and I did that for almost 10 years. It was good. It was fun. You know, it was a good, how can I say it, like transition over, because like you're still hanging out with the boys, but you're not, you know, it's not a 24/7 thing. It's like you get to go over, you get to hang out, you get to do the job, you know, and then when you're done, like you get to go home and enjoy your time off. And the money was great, obviously, which is kind of like what brings everybody into it initially. And yeah, I mean, like 10 years of that, and that was kind of the transition period. I got to travel the world in that time. I backpacked for probably 5 or 6 years. Just whenever I wasn't working, I would just pick a new country, new continent, and catch a flight over there. And solo with like a little 45-liter carry-on backpack. And
oh my gosh, what was your favorite, kind of the most favorite spot you went to?
Central and South America. I ended up going to Belize a lot, and then actually one of the times I was in Costa Rica, I met my wife. And
awesome.
Yeah, so it worked out really good. You know, obviously you're never expecting it. I had tons of trips planned, and I met her. And
you were the mail order bride.
Yeah, I guess.
You've heard of mail order brides, haven't you?
So
down there.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. And so you did the contracting. You got out of the military. What was the impetus? What was the kind of thing that sparked your Wooby Hoody business that's going now? That because that's the
man. I had a few failed business ventures beforehand. It was never anything that I started initially, and they all failed. You know, I learned something from each one, very, very valuable lessons from each one. And then I had read 4 Hour Work Week for the 3rd or 4th time, and I got going with that. I was looking for one of these online, and I couldn't find one, and it took me a few days before the light bulb went off. And after that, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this. And I just used that as like, you know, step by step, what do we do? And 7 years later, we've built Wooby Hoody, and it's grown exponentially, and we have a great base of customers and supporters, and that's where like most of the great ideas come from, is people just making requests, and it's like, yeah, we can do that, and
That's
we'll
awesome.
knock out the next generation, the next pattern, whatever it is, and it's worked.
And to everybody who doesn't are not familiar with woobies or poncho liners, the Brinkware, and I heard that first expression when I went to airborne school. Wooby was the first.
Yep.
You would be effed without it type of thing.
Yep.
And it definitely brings back a nostalgia for me, because being infantry and those type of combat armed jobs, a lot of times you just have your wooby.
Yeah.
You just have your poncho liner. You don't get a sleeping bag.
Yep.
And it adds a little bit. I have a picture of, we were in the field. It was in my infantry platoon, and there's probably, I don't know, 10, 15 dudes underneath one poncho liner. But
Yep.
it was definitely not on a naval ship, but it was. They have different whoopee parties on there.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
kidding. But yeah, that's some really cool patterns. You're wearing one today.
Yeah.
What pattern is that?
This is it's called Rojava Nights, and this is a pattern that I found while I was on one of my trips as a contractor, just going from shop to shop, and we found this shop that had a bunch of different materials and different camo patterns.
Yeah.
And this is one that we found, and we started making shorts out of it and bags out of it. And I think it was last year, I messaged my buddy and was like, hey, can you send me that bag, because I want to make that pattern into a Wooby Hoody.
Which country was that?
It was in Syria.
Syria?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
So there's a Syrian military running around with that pattern?
That'd be
Or-
cool. If they're not, they should be.
Yeah, they should. The Wooby Hoodies is your base of it, correct? Of the product line.
Yeah.
What's some of your other best-selling products on there?
So we have, obviously, the Wooby Hoodie is the big seller. We got the Ranger panties on there, which are always popular. We just got these coats in. We call them the Marauder coat.
I did see that. I was going to get one of those.
Yeah, very, very awesome. It's a lot heavier, a lot more weather resistant, deals with water and rain a lot better. And that one we kind of named after Merrill's Marauders back in World War II, who were, they were in the jungle, but they definitely needed some incredible gear that could do a lot. And
Yeah.
that was the inspiration for that one.
That's cool. That's awesome. And it goes back to that piece of history,
Yeah.
Making history and then shaping in the future generations. I'm sure there's guys that are going into the military and they're buying this product line, and
Yeah. Yep.
that's cool. So you sell the Wooby Hoodies, great success. They're awesome. They just, every time I see one, it just puts a smile on my face.
You make me happy.
And then can you shed some light on some of these veteran organizations, nonprofits that you've had experiences with, and kind of share some of that?
Yeah. So the latest thing I've done is I got linked up with Defenders of Freedom, and there is a place called the Resiliency Brain Clinic down in a suburb of Dallas, Texas. And so I got to go down there, and this was good. It was amazing because a lot of us have these issues with TBIs, PTSD, all this stuff. And you think, which as I thought, that this is just like, this is your life now. You paid your dues. These are the scars that you're going to carry for the rest of your life. And down there at the brain clinic, they do a very, very incredible job of designing a program that is going to work for you for what you need. Like, you'll show up and these are the issues I'm having, you let them know. And it's, it can be sleep, it can be headaches, balance, you might be very argumentative, you might have a very short fuse, and a lot of these things that you don't realize, like you just think it's you now. And a lot of these things you don't realize that, you have injuries in your brain, and just because you have them, it doesn't mean they can't be fixed. And so they went through and they did tons of great therapies. They give you different exercises to do when you go home to keep healing. And yeah, that whole thing was awesome. And Defenders of Freedom, they set me up, got me down there, got me the lodging, everything.
That's
and
cool.
they're just sending veterans through because Donna, she has an amazing story. And I don't want to tell her story because it's hers, but she has an amazing story of why she's doing it. And this lady is absolute angel. And that is her mission, is to just keep healing veterans.
And this is Defenders of Freedom.
Defenders of
Okay.
Freedom.
And I'll put the link to all their stuff.
Cool,
So if you
yeah.
guys want to go and donate or see how you can get involved, which I highly recommend, because that healing piece and just the thought of that, just knowing that there is a fix,
Yeah.
can give you a sense of hope, knowing like,
Yeah. And like one of the things that I noticed, because I kind of started this right about the time I stopped contracting, I decided I was going to stop drinking too. And so,
it's powerful.
yeah, thank you. Memorial Day is going to be 4 years of complete sobriety.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But it kind of like kicked off this bigger journey for me of like, I actually want to heal. I want to fix this. And I don't know what it's going to take, how long it's going to take, what the process looks like. But I just started implementing these different things that I thought that I needed. So, exercise was one, just to start feeling good in the morning, taking these bad habits and replacing them with good ones, getting up and reading books, and exercising your brain also, learning, making it work, making it do something, not just sit stagnant, looking at a phone, scrolling, watching TV, movies, all that. So just kind of going through all this and reevaluating my life and everything. And it's like, I took it up to a point, it was 3 years of, the best way I can describe it is like a bicycle chain, it was 1-to-1, very 1-to-1. If I push this hard, I would go this far, this fast, and there was nothing else I could do. And the Brain Clinic and a couple of these other programs have if I was doing addition, if I put one good thing in, I get one good thing out.
Yeah.
They introduced multiplication to me.
So now you've got mechanical advantage.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like mechanical advantage plus you're going downhill now. So you don't even have to try nearly as hard. And it's it has been absolutely amazing, the stuff that they're doing down there. Highly, highly recommend everyone go check them out.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I, that's a lot of other veterans I talk to that have businesses and stuff like that, and they've got the skills from the military experiences, leadership, but then adding in that piece to where you're kind of breaking through plateaus.
Yeah.
And I know that veterans, our experiences in the past shape who we are now. Non-veterans they support veterans, but veterans are going to be the ones that help other veterans and know how to do that. So I appreciate you sharing that. That's it on the podcast. Thanks for coming on. And I would encourage everybody to go to your website, go on there, get your Wooby Hoodie, your Marauder, and then also check out those links for those nonprofits to help people to get healed and stuff like that. But I appreciate all the stuff that you're doing for the veteran community, and I'm looking forward to seeing some new prints getting released, and definitely be getting those. So thanks for coming on, TJ, and
Awesome. Thank you, Mike.
have a great day.
Yeah, you too.